Alright, so the other day I made a video about the update for Battlefield 5, about my early impressions of it, what other people had said about it, why it's important it succeeds, etc, and I said I'd come back to update you about what I thought after playing some more, and talk about the future of Battlefield 5, and what I think of it in regards to this update, all that sort of good stuff. And what I ended up coming out with was very different from what I expected. So this is going to be another long one, you've been warned. If you don't like long, detailed, sometimes rambling content, then this isn't for you. You now know, so that's cool. You can go, or you can leave it running, I don't mind. But now you're aware, so no complaints. Otherwise I'm going to come around and shave you. I hadn't planned this bit out. This bit isn't scripted, this video, you may be able to tell. I just was about to say I was going to shave you because I couldn't think of anything. I don't know what that means. So all I've got today is just my bullet points written down, and I'm just going to talk freely about them. I feel like that's going to be a more genuine way of doing this, because today's a very important one for me in ways I completely hadn't expected. So the first part of this video is going to be good for the people here for Battlefield, basically, here because I'm covering Battlefield, and the second half is going to be interesting to people more so who are here for me, for this channel, because it's going to talk about both the game, my thoughts, and what's going to happen for the future, both near and far future, or distant future is a better way of putting that. So, I came to, as I alluded to, an unexpected realization in the process of making this video. Something just clicked in my head, basically. And I'm not going to super edit the audio today. I've had a lot of people saying, you know, do it more like a conversation, don't cut all the sentences so close together, so you got it, let's see if that works. So, the update itself, I said it was a mixed bag, and it was very important that things continue to go well for these updates and for the game in general to build momentum, to fight back from the mess that has been this game so far, undeniably for the vast majority of people. So let's cover the good stuff first. The update does seem to have improved the game in some fairly significant ways, at least for what I'll say is tentatively the majority from what I can gather from looking around. So things like invisible soldiers are now either gone or extremely rare, which is great because that's not something we wanted in the game. Although it does feel kind of odd to be praising invisible soldiers being gone when really 8 months into a AAA title they shouldn't have been in the game anyway. I mean that's ridiculous. But them being gone is definitely a good thing. And overall performance for, I don't know, some or a lot of people, it's hard to gauge, does seem to be better overall. This is good because it comes at the same time as the game now being available on EA Access, which now is also available on PlayStation 4 as well. So right at a time when some new blood is coming into the game, when we get some new players, hopefully that will continue by the way, the game looks to be taking kind of a step forwards-ish. It's kind of a good combination depending on your perspective on the issue, and I'll get to why there's another side of it as well, a less positive side. But this is the positive section, and yes, there is some good stuff so far. This needs to be what DICE aim for with every update. Get at least what you say is going to be in the patch correct. And I guess what we can take from that is that monthly patches, you know, less frequent patches, which focus on maybe a smaller amount of things as with this latest update, might be the way to do this going forwards if it allows them to maintain quality, if it allows them to actually do what they say they're going to do, because in some previous patches which have been more frequent or have been larger, it's not gone well. The game has got worse many times. Now this idea of less frequent or smaller patches will upset some people, I guess, as they'll feel like not enough is being fixed or not enough is being changed, and that's fine. I understand that if that's how you view it. You know, no one can tell you you're wrong. You paid for the game. If you're not happy with how it is and you want things to be fixed faster because we are 8 months deep, I'm not going to say you're wrong. You know, that's perfectly fine. But at this point, DICE simply can't please everybody. You know, they need to just focus on trying to get things right to please some people at least. So if that's what they're going to do, smaller patches, less frequent, I'd say just do it. Now onwards, what are other people saying? You know, the less positive side of this update. Well, it is still crashing for some people. I thought it wasn't, but apparently it is. Some are saying it's actually crashing more now, which just, it sucks to hear. You know, I'm so tired of hearing that things are bad or worse, or, you know, what can you do? Some people are saying that the game didn't used to stutter for them, and now it stutters, you know, FPS drops, which seems to be better for most people now, but if some other people are coming out and saying they got stuttering, then it's just a whole mess. And it is super strange and kind of, again, unacceptable that the experience can be so different from person to person. You know, I don't remember seeing this before in another game, where undeniably one person's experience can be bug-filled and another maybe not so much, but then after an update, the roles can be reversed, and it really is confusing for me. I've never come across this before in my gaming life. There's also a bug sometimes involving aiming down sight and healing, just another random issue that's found its way into the game. There's getting stuck in an animation after reviving. Just lots of things, to be honest. Just more stuff, which I thought this patch was kind of, I don't know, a step forwards. That was the overall perspective I gave with my previous video. It was tentative. I said it was early days, but from what I was seeing from other people, it looked good. It still looks good overall, but there are far more people saying they're having problems than I thought there was going to be. So it's not an overall, wonderful patch for everybody. But I guess maybe it's never going to be for this game. And there's an issue that many are saying that performance is just still bad, which is very vague, but that's how they're putting it. That can mean so many things, and unfortunately, that's because so many things have gone wrong so far. This does also mean that some things can be improved, but they don't get noticed or mentioned because of the vague coverage. It's just, again, another confusing aspect of the problem. So now, what about my experience, my personal experience of the update after my last video? Well, I can say that certainly I agree that some things have improved, and getting rid of or reducing invisible soldiers is a great thing, and there are some improvements to overall performance. Some. And that's good stuff. I can see that would be great for a lot of people, let's say. I can't really put numbers or statistics on things. We're too far gone in this game to please everybody, but for some people this would be great. Again, depending on if it's as good for them or worse for them, all that kind of business. Weird sentence. I think you get what I mean. But for me, it's still frustrating to play, to be honest. It's still, I don't think I've said this before, but quite honestly now, it's still the least fun I have playing games. And yes, that is really sad. I don't want to hear this whole just play something else then. If you're going to say that, then you don't have the perspective of being a content creator. That is not as simple as that. I am playing other stuff, but I still have to cover this game. I can't just, stop. Not suddenly stop. That won't be good for me, won't be good for the subscribers. But this is the least fun I have of the games that I play. Maybe because I wouldn't play this game as much. Well, not maybe, because I definitely wouldn't play this game as much if I wasn't making content on it. I would say for me that the lack of a team balancer, or just team mixer, let's say, so you don't have to balance teams, just maybe randomly reassign people and parties between each game, especially if the games aren't balanced, especially if one team's getting blown out, and certainly get the numbers right in each team. I'm sick of seeing 20 versus 11, or 7 versus none, or it's just completely unacceptable. And I've said it unacceptable a few times now. I think we're really getting the message across that this should not be the case at this point in the game. I've said that in so many videos, and it's never changing, and that is part of why this video is here today. You will understand in the next section why I'm saying that. So there's still so many problems. I will say when I went on to go on again after my last video, the first thing that happened when I logged in was this that you're seeing on screen. So that was not a good start. This was then followed by a black screen when I started the game, which now seems to happen more regularly again for some unknown reason. Couple that with how I started off this session, I was just very unimpressed already. This idea that this patch had been super great was dissipating for me. Yes, overall it's better, but these things popping up all the time really doesn't help, and just adds to the frustration for me and honestly many other people, creators and just general players of the game. It starts to nag, it's irritating. The more things like this that happen, the less patience we have for this game. Then I had a problem with simply trying to join my friend's squad, which I've never had before like this. I had to try over and over, which of course while I was in that menu gave the enemy the opportunity to flank around and get in a good position on me, so that irritated me, and we're just in this cycle of some things get better, other things get worse, and we just keep hoping for the best. And then I came across that audio glitch. I'm not going to show it, a lot of you probably know what I mean. The audio glitch where it sounds like a tank is firing a flamethrower over and over without there being a tank there. And then I will show you this one. Came across a different thing that I'd never seen before. This wall decided to be invisible. I could see through it, so I could get a direct line of sight on any enemies approaching me. Why is that happening suddenly? And I think all of this for me, something just clicked. Something just clicked for me in my head. And I came to this realization, which is the point of this video today, aside from covering the update, which I've just done. We're now going to move into the stuff more so for the game in general and for me rather than this update. So for me, I got to the point of losing hope. I just realized how ridiculous it is to keep hanging on to this like there can be some great turnaround suddenly. If it happens, then that'll be fantastic. But why would I place anything of importance upon the chances of it happening, such as my channel or indeed my sanity playing games? For me, it's still very frustrating to play. The netcode is awful, I feel like so often things don't line up with my firing and the enemy's firing, deaths around corners, time to die. I now feel like I'm noticing Cronus and stuff like that more often because I've done some research on it recently. I'm now aware of its existence and what it can do, and getting shot across the map by high recoil guns on controller consistently by the same few people, it's irritating. Like, it's doing my head in, and it seems to be more of a problem in this game than in a lot of other ones, to be honest. Not just modded controllers, but cheating in general, as I've talked about recently. And then I thought about this one recently as well. The max player rank was reached by a lot of players within, what, a few days? That, you know, rank 50, and 8 months later we're still waiting to get an increase to that? That's ridiculous. I have, as I say, mentioned this before, but that blows my mind when I really think about that now. The progression system, the main progression system for this game, topped out after a few days, and 8 months later, we're waiting for it to be changed. That's stupid. That is so dumb. So I'm not satisfied with that as well, and that's putting me off. Now, some people after this patch and with the game overall are very, very happy. They're happy it's got better, or they just love playing the game. And for them, that's fantastic. I back them entirely. I wish I was them. I wish that was everybody. That's awesome. Don't let me or anyone else make you feel bad about the game. That's not the intention here. If you like it, good. Keep enjoying it. That's awesome. I'm very pleased for you. But for me, this has started to feel like a losing battle. It may get there. It may get better. It may get worse here and there as well. It may get better overall, or it may get worse overall. But this will not be the game I or many wanted it to be, at least not anytime soon. So I have to open my eyes, accept that, and somewhat move on. I can tell you that interest in Battlefield 5 and content based around it has fallen dramatically in the last few months. It really has, not just for me, but for many, many creators. This is why you can see a lot of creators going to older Battlefield titles, different games, trying to cover the game in different ways, and eventually there comes a breaking point. It's not as if I'm going to stop covering the game, because I'm absolutely not. That would be stupid. As I said earlier, I'm still going to cover this game to a certain extent. Battlefield is what my channel has been built upon so far, so it's still going to remain a fairly key part of this channel. And it's not as if I won't talk about its failures and triumphs and still bring you updates at times, because I will. And probably videos like my white background red text thumbnails, which a lot of people take the piss out of. I'm still going to do it. But it's more so that I no longer expect a radical turnaround. I've lost faith, at least in it happening anytime soon. So this won't be this shocked outlook when things are still a mess now. There won't be this shocked outlook when I make content about it. I'll just tell it like it is, not expect anything particularly great for my own enjoyment, and also change the hell out of the content I'm bringing you in other ways. Now, I have said before that things on this channel will change, and then it only did slightly, and this may be the case again here, at least to begin with, as I can't just potentially kill the channel with a sudden shift. But there's a plan in place this time like there wasn't before. You're going to get so much more from me. The channel will be based more so around myself and what makes me who I am, rather than simply the game I'm covering or the topic or whatever else. If you're here for me, then that should hopefully be great for you. If not, then it likely won't change too much for you. Hopefully you'll still want to watch some of what I make. But this is better for the long term, and absolutely for the enjoyment of my core audience. I can do so much more than what you've seen from me in the past 2 or 3 years. I really can. And while it may make things very hard again for a while, lower viewership of course, because I'll be doing some other stuff, and I won't be able to tap into a consistent guaranteed viewership as I am now to the same extent, as I said, in the long run, this has far more legs to it. So what's the plan? Well, along with my regular content I do now, of which there will still be some of course, I want to be just far more unique and really offer you something different. As a heads up here, I have a video with some unreal footage of Chinese hackers coming in a few days, so that should be fun for some of you. It is honestly eye-opening how bad it is. I'm editing a video of my attempt at playing Destiny 2 at a super low level and getting crushed, which was painful but probably enjoyable for some of you out there. I'm trying to pull together some creators for a challenge video or challenge stream where the loser will literally have to get the winner's logo tattooed onto them. I have a yes to that from Fabian Chills and Benedictions so far, and then somewhat non-committal answers from Modest Pelican, Nickerman, Teabag Gaming, and I'm going to say Danny on PC. So we'll see if they end up having the balls to take part in the end. But I mean, I'm really going for it now. It's time to have fun and develop again as a creator, and I think it's going to be way better for you, the audience. I'm going to be doing some videos comprised of playing on stream. Yep, that's streaming. Here's my Twitch name. There will also be a link in the description and my pinned comment, so drop me a follow and don't miss out on there. I'm super excited to start streaming again soon. I know a good amount of you used to really enjoy the streams, more so than the videos even, but this time it won't be in terrible quality on YouTube. I'm ordering loads of stuff for a huge overhaul, so it will be a quality video experience over on Twitch this time for better engagement, opportunities and all that good stuff. So drop that follow for me. Then highlights from there will make their way into videos as if I were making live commentaries, but this time you can join me for the ride on the stream and see all of it rather than just the little bits. It's going to be awesome, I promise you. And yes, this does mean somewhat of a face reveal is coming at some point in the nearest future, so I'll be on camera more, there'll be more personality. This also allows for a different style of content, more entertaining, more creative. I'm looking to hit many other games in a mixture of videos and streaming, so along with Battlefield 5, we'll have older Battlefield titles, many of which I've never played before. The Destiny 2 expansion when it drops will be something I cover. Big new games later this year like Borderlands 3, COD Modern Warfare. I'm also playing a whole lot of Teamfight Tactics currently, which is completely different, so I can't wait to chill and play that on stream while chatting with you guys and trying to climb the ranked ladders. I really think this is going to be a huge change, a massive shift, something that's going to be so much better for this channel and honestly hopefully so much more enjoyable for you. Not just analytical videos all the time, because I know that's not for everyone. Not everybody wants to hear me sit and read a script out, and that's probably not what I'm even best at, I'd say. I'm better at the creative stuff, and yet that's not what you've been getting because I've been playing Battlefield 5 basically, which doesn't have that much scope for it. With viewership for that game dwindling, I can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and hoping for a different result. That's a sign of madness, and I'd like to think that I'm not crazy. And also I want to say the current merch I have is temporary as well. It was my first attempt at doing merchandise. If you want to grab some of the totally original Get Good Guy merch, then you can find the links below to Teespring. It's not going to be there forever. You'll be one of these people that got it when it came out, and then it's going to be gone. So it's there, available on Teespring, links below. Also you can see the image below on certain platforms for YouTube. But I think at some point I'll be switching providers to a different company, which will also allow me to get a custom website for it rather than just using Teespring. And I'll look for a graphic designer and get some much more attractive stuff out. And the prices may well be lower as well, because I don't like the price points of them at the minute, but I had some issues with Teespring, so that's where they've remained. So please look out for that as well if it sounds exciting. And so just, yeah, a strange and muddled one today, but much more so me. Not as well constructed, but much more me, what I'm about, and what's going to happen in the future. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, turn on those notifications to stay up to date. I'd also really super appreciate if you'd like, honestly liking the video is massive. If you'd like, subscribe and join my Discord server in the description and my pinned comment. The Discord is probably where I'm going to let people know if I'm going to be playing games on stream, so make sure you do join that if you want to watch and or potentially play some games with me at some point. Here's the Board of Awesome for the epic people who support the channel on Patreon. They're all absolute heroes and I love them all deeply and of course often. If you want to join them on the Board of Awesome, the link to the Patreon page is in the description and my pinned comment. And with that all said, I'm Get Good Guy and I'll see you next time. Laters.